Hey, G, I might go off screen, man.
All right.
Hey, D-Lo, cut that shit up.
What's going on, everybody? It's G Walker, the CNG podcast, man. I got my boy, the OG Allen, in here right now. Look, it's been new starters. Guys getting the deal restructured. Week 1 in the NFL starts tonight with the Cowboys versus the Eagles. Allen hit me up and said he wanted to talk about some things as far as these new captains and the guys that are not captains anymore. There's some notable names, and we're going to talk about that as well. So give us 1 second, and we're going to get right back to you guys. If you're in the stream right now, please repost it, like it, share it, and we'll get right back to you. Give us a couple more minutes. We're going to wait for CJ to get in here. Just give us a couple more minutes. Thank you.
Hey, D-Lo, cut that shit up.
What's going on? We got a comment. What's going on? Oh, what up, Jason? Shout out to Jason, man, for coming in and reposting the stream, bro. We're going to lock in a second. Just give us a couple more minutes, y'all. We're going to get to the show. You know, I don't like to waste nobody's time, man, but just give us a few more minutes, man. We're going to get it cracked. How's it going, man? Bears football. Monday night football. Monday night football will be upon us real soon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the CNG podcast. Let's go.
Hey, D-Lo, cut that shit up.
Welcome to the 24 people up in the CNG podcast, midday podcast, man. It's been some captains. Welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome to the show. It's me and Allen right now, man. We're going to talk about the new captains. We're going to talk about some captains that's not captains anymore. Why they probably are not captains anymore. We're going to talk about JJ's deal, or possibly what that means for why his deal got restructured. You know what I mean? We're going to talk about that for a little bit. Like I said, we're going to talk about the non-notable captains, the guys that didn't get named captain. You know, stuff like that. We're gonna get into some of that stuff, and then I got the week 1 picks right here. These G Walker picks. You know what I mean? For week 1, and we're gonna go over this as well. We got this right here. This is Allen gave us the spread for the Eagles versus the Cowboys. You know what I mean? So with that being said, Allen, whenever you're comfortable enough to turn your mic on or turn your camera on, please let me know and talk to the people, man. And tell them how you feeling today, bro.
Oh yeah, man. Hey everybody, man. This is Allen, man. Shit. Appreciate you folks in on the show today. Well, how I feel about the captains, I like that it's not 8 anymore and it's 5, you know, and I believe that last year we had 8 too many. I don't believe we really had a captain on the team last year, except maybe Edwards. But other than that, I don't think we had no leadership on that team. But this year, I think we have valid guys who are leaders. I know Cairo Santos is a captain. I kind of question that, but I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna go with Kairos. I mean, it's not. Robbie Gold was a captain also, so I can lean on that. Grady Jarrett is definitely a captain. Byer is definitely a captain. Joe Tooney, I knew was gonna take over that locker room with the big guys. And Caleb Williams is a quarterback. Generally, the quarterback gets to see on his chest. So I appreciate the guys for really thinking about who they put in their leadership. I feel like Jaylon Johnson and Cole Kmet, they were captains last year.
Yeah. Go ahead, Alan.
I said they were captains last year, but I just don't think they're a captain tier. Captains are people who lead by example. I don't think if I was playing football and I played with the Bears, I would follow their lead. TJ Edwards, I could see somebody that I could follow in the locker room. Grady, Byer, those guys are men's men. That's why I would follow those guys. They're soft-spoken. They don't speak all the time, but when they do, you hear them. Jaylon, he talks all the time. Cole talks all the time. So, I just don't get nothing out of guys like that. So I just think the leadership we got this year is going to make a bigger difference for the team going forward this year.
Yeah, man, and I gotta agree. The guys they picked as you next name, Caleb Williams, Joe Tooney, Grady Jarrett, Bayard, Santos. These guys are one thing that I did notice about all these guys that the team voted on, or some of the coaches have voted on, is toughness. Caleb Williams has taken on to Ben Johnson's scheme. He's taken on to Ben Johnson's toughness. He's taken on Ben Johnson's his analytical, his precise, his search for perfection. Caleb Williams, to his credit, hasn't probably thrown no more than 3 interceptions this whole preseason, this whole camp. So he deserves to see, generally the quarterbacks get it, but as far as what Caleb Williams has been through, as far as a quarterback since he's been at Chicago Bears, you can ask for a guy that's more even keeled, fun to be around. He's a good communicator on the podium. He sticks to football. So Caleb Williams deserves to have that C on his chest. I cannot picture him not being deserving of the C on his chest. But, Alan, we're going to talk about Joe Tooney right here, man. Shout out to Soulback Sports, my guy Aaron, for reposting the stream. Appreciate that, big dog. We're going to talk about the big fella in the middle, man. Like, we all know that Joe Tooney comes from Kansas City, blocked for Patrick Mahomes, blocked for Tom Brady. So this is almost a no-brainer. He comes with a winning pedigree, a winning mentality. So he comes with baggage, good baggage. You know what I mean, Alan? So what was it to you that made you be like, you know what, Joe Tooney is going to be the automatically number one guy to be picked for a captain for the offensive line? What separated him from a guy like, Dahlman, who is a great center too? So what separated him, you think?
Longevity. Cachet. He's won 4 Super Bowls. He's 32. I think he's the highest paid lineman we got. So it kind of comes with that. And plus he was the Kansas City Player of the Year last year. He was a Player of the Year for Kansas City. So he's a decorated in the Army talks, he's decorated. So
Right, decorated.
yeah. So I don't think this was a questionable offense by the team. The team knew. Hell, we all knew when he got picked up when we traded for him that he is instant credibility in that room.
Yeah, it's instant credibility, man. It's instant leadership. It's instant everything. This is what you want. You want a guy that's done it before on the highest level, as far as competing, as far as winning, being a part of organizations, being part of quarterbacks that's done it before. An offensive lineman that can teach Caleb Williams a couple of things. Like, he has a tremendous voice on this team, you know, and especially one being in the offensive line. So they brought in a guy that's got a big voice. Caleb can learn from. You couldn't pick a better guy to probably be named the captain and traded for this team, you know, as you rebuild this offensive line from here on and out. You know what I mean? Now,
yeah, he's definitely a pillar that you build your foundation on. He's a pillar. So I wouldn't trade this for anything. So you know, the one thing in that offensive line room that's always needed is credibility. When guys get to rushing and hitting your quarterback and stuff like that, defenses know who's on that offensive line. You just ain't gonna put your hands on my quarterback and do my quarterback any kind of way. And he's one of those guys that got respect in the league. Like, yeah, I ain't finna fuck with Big Joe, man. I ain't going in that. I'm not going down that path, you know. Right. But the offensive linemen we've had in the past, they just let anybody do our quarterbacks any kind of way. That shit stops today. So yeah, you know, that's what I love about the offensive line we got now. That shit matters when you hit my quarterback. You know. Yeah,
it got to mean something. You got to have a protective type of mindset naturally. But you know, Joe Thuney is up there in age, man. But Allen, if you were the offensive line coach or Dennis Allen, and you got a guy like this on your team, even though he's a veteran, even though he has longevity, even though he's proven to be a guy that you can count on for years, what is the couple of traits or a trait that he separates himself for another draft pick? At some point, we have to draft a guy of a Joe Thuney. So what is it about Joe Thuney that he has in his toolbox that an offensive line coach or a head coach will be looking at, a GM in the draft soon? Like, what does he have?
First of all, he's steady. He's steady. He's a Sunday through Monday type of guy, if that makes sense, G.
Right.
He's consistent across the board. He's gonna be there. He's gonna leave. He's gonna be there. He's gonna leave. He's just a stability, a rock. That's his biggest trait. Second trait, he is a technician. He watches a lot of film. He does a lot of the extra work. The fundamentals are sound. Like, everything is sound with him and his approach and how he delivers to the guys. He might not be a rah-rah type of guy that kind of that's getting out in front, but he's the type of guy that, look, man, you got to get your posture right. When you come out of this block, you can't be like you're standing straight up like you're going to get hit with a clothesline. You got to get yourself low and get good posture and get yourself a good anchor, get your hands right. You know, he's the type he can lean in and talk to his guys, and he got the technique to back it up. And even like we seen on that 1920 drive, you know, the guy from Ed Oliver out of Buffalo, he's like, damn, you a tech. You know, like, you know, it's like, I can't do anything with you. Like, that's respect. That's what he brings to a locker room. Like, that right there, guys know, like, damn, I got Joe on this play. Or they gonna, especially some fronts, he might want to switch off of that. Like, man, I'm gonna get the other guy. I want Big Jackson. You know, so nobody wants Joe Thuney. Nobody wants a piece of him. But that's what you got in that locker room. And that's what separates him from the pack, is what he brings to the field and to the voices of the locker room.
Yeah, man. Joe Tony, since he's been here, you know, he's been exactly what we need him to be. You never see him in the limited stars that we saw him in. You never seen him out of place. You never saw him off balance. You never really saw him getting beat, you know, unless there's more footage I got to look at. But Joe Tony is exactly what this team needs from right now and into the future. And he's going to be a great veteran when they do bring in that new left guard, you know, that they draft. They can sit him down with him, and he pretty much mentors him to be the next great guard. So shout out to Captain Joe T for being named the captain, man. But we're going to keep it moving, man. Grady Jarrett, Allen, this guy's come to the Chicago Bears, man, and he's been an absolutely fan favorite from the way he talks, from his humor, to his ferocity, to his violence, you know what I mean? To every single thing that you need in a positive way. It's like he don't talk a lot, but when he talks, people listen. When Grady Jarrett says something, it vibrates, you know what I mean? Like he has the type of voice that I can listen to him. It's not cocky, but it's confident. It's not arrogant, but it's not rude. And that's the type of balance you need in a locker room when it comes from having a captain. Like, yeah, he can talk a lot, but at the same time, he hyping me up. He make me want to go through a brick wall for him. And he can play. So just what's your thoughts on Grady Jarrett being named the captain? And did you see this coming like I did? Because I named him, before they even named me, I figured Grady Jarrett be a captain because you look on that defensive line, and we'll get to the guys on that defensive line. I didn't know if they was leaders or not. Like we saw Montez Sweat get up on the podium early in the offseason. It was completely rude to the Chicago media, bro. He was acting like, what are you talking about? Excuse me, what did you say? And he was just doing a lot of things where he felt like he was being bothered by coming into OTAs. So I noticed that. But when I noticed when Grady Jarrett got here, man, he lit the whole room up. So Alan, just what are your thoughts on Grady Jarrett since he's been here? What can he provide as a leader?
Man, you know what, you said a lot right there. I'm gonna say this, and I'm just gonna pivot on a little bit, but that dang on Montez Sweat should be the leader of our defensive line, but he's not. I was talking to my old lady the other day. I told her, like, people in management and entry level should not be acting the same way, because one is the leaders of one. And it's not saying that a person that's not a supervisor or anything should not be a leader.
Right.
But leadership qualities can come from anywhere.
Right.
But you would think the person they put the most faith in would be a guy that they can trust to talk to the media, to be a spokesman for the team. Like I can't even see them taking Montez Sweat to the YMCA to talk to kids. Like I just don't get him to be like, nothing says anything about you to be a person of depth, of depth, you know, to go out and speak for my company if I was owning it. Like anyway, I just think that Grady Jarrett is somebody I would say, you know what, Grady? Hey man, can you take these kids over here to the YMCA, sit down with them, man? Some of them are having the wrong, you know, a tough go at it.
Right.
He would probably be the one like, man, is that all you need from me, big dog?
Right.
Like,
right. Is that all you need? Right.
Yeah, that it's like Montez Sweat, one of those dudes gonna give you the bare minimum. Like, anyway, I'm trying not to go on my soapbox.
Yeah, you going far. You going too far ahead. I know I mentioned him, but
yeah. But Grady Jarrett, man, he is so awesome as far as the way he speaks, and he could talk to young guys and make them feel appreciated that they're out there on the field, and don't be scared to make a mistake. And then he's well spoken in front of people. I always admire men, especially when they get in front of people and they talk.
Right.
Because I think women are a little bit better as far as public speaking sometimes. I think because women are they talk a little bit more in front of people than men generally. But I really respect when men can get up there and really allow themselves to be themselves. They speak fluidly and talk in front of strangers. And he makes you feel welcome to talk to him, like it's not a bother. Like that is a leader in itself by the way he communicates with others. So I can only imagine how he talks to the young guys. I can only imagine how he talks to the coaches. He can relay information from the coach down to the players to where the players can understand it. And he can also flip that, take the information from the player like, coach, man, hey, baby, look here. I know you want us to do this, that, and the third, but, man, they might not be able to handle that. I can, but they might not be able to see it like that, coach. So maybe we need to kind of rethink that. And I ain't telling you what to do, but I'm just trying to let you know how the guys feeling. You know, they giving you your all, but, you know, those guys are buffers. And he's a buffer from the players to the coaches. So that's why I think he's well above qualified for this job and that assignment for the football team.
Man, well said, Al. You had a lot. You got a lot. I'm gonna get to some of that, but we got Celeste in here. Shout out to my little sister Net, man. She reposted the stream. I really appreciate it. She says, yo. And she says she always loves the music, man. She's one of my favorite people on Twitter right now and in the Bears community. She's just a pleasant person to be around when I get the chance to talk to her. So shout out to Celeste and shout out to Soulback Sports over there too, man, for reposting the stream. Shout out to Jason too, man. Nephew, I appreciate it, man. We gonna lock in. So yeah, but JD Garrett is everything you said he is and more, man. It's just that sometimes the coach might not be the person that can get up there and talk. Like, you need that guy that can get up there and just talk that talk naturally. Like, every time Grady Jarrett gets up there, it's never forced. It's never like you're getting on my nerves. He always seems to be a natural fit to get up there and talk on the podium. And I think that's why one of the reasons probably the players voted for him. He can talk well. He can articulate. Caleb can get up there and talk well. He can articulate. Santos, all these guys can get up on that podium. Joe Tooney can really talk. You know what I mean? So I think that's something I noticed from Ben Johnson since he's been a coach. He's a good talker. He's very well articulated. Yeah. He's very well verbal. You know what I mean? So if I'm looking at something like that and I'm building my team around my captains, I need guys that can get up there and talk football. I need guys that get up there and bullshit a little bit. I need the guys that can go up there and read a room. I need guys on my team that can go up there and put out fires. Caleb can put out a fire on that podium. Joe Tooney can put out a fire on that podium. Definitely Grady Jarrett. All these guys that are captains right here can definitely keep things in the locker room to where they don't spill over. And that's the biggest thing I appreciate about that so far, besides all these guys having toughness, is the ability to get up on that podium and talk football. Because once you say the wrong things, you can let the media into your locker room, Alan. You can let them in. So I think if you got
like last year.
Yeah, once you got a collective unit of guys that can just talk like they supposed to talk and keep everything in-house, this is what separates good teams from bad teams. Because once players and coaches start talking, that's when you know that this team isn't unified. So having the ability for these guys to come up there and talk football and actually somebody that can put out a fire is very, very important for a team. But we're going to keep it moving, man. Kevin Byard, man, this was the guy that I took off my list as far as picking the captain, Allen. And I put Kyler Gordon on there because I thought Kyler Gordon would be named the captain, one, because he's our Swiss Army knife. He's a great tackler. He's he's young. So if you're trying to set the standard for a young secondary with him, that guy that just got his extension, I was thinking you will get somebody like a Kyler Gordon to be a captain, but he wasn't. But they gave it to Kevin Byard. The team voted on this. So, Alan, just what's your thoughts on why you would go with a Kevin Byard instead of a guy like Kyler Gordon, who I didn't see an issue with the name captain?
Well, Kyler Gordon, I think would have been a good choice. Briscoe would have been a good choice too. But I would have went. I think the guys look at Kevin Byard as an unk on the team.
Right, he unk.
A guy that, he's just an unk, man. He's just a guy like, man, bro, didn't I tell you don't do that, man? Like, he calls the plays on defense, like, as a free safety. He calls the coverages. So he's naturally barking at every 10 guy on the team.
Right.
Because he's a free safety. He's going to bark at everybody. The linebacker does too, but the free safety barks too. And he knows the defense inside and out. He's got the ESP of the team. Like, usually the free safety is the most intelligent guy on the football team. One of them, because he has to study everything across the board. He's got to know the fronts. He's got to know the linebackers assignments and his corners. The free safety has to be the guy next to the coach on defense that gets everything organized. He's the one that's counting. Oh, we got T.O. We got too many on the field. Like that, the free safety is got to be the quintessential quarterback of the defense. That's why I say they're so vital in communication. So that's why I say that Bayard, it's a safe bet, and I know that he tells everybody what to do. And I'm not gonna say tell what to do, instruct everybody what to do. And that plays a role. Yeah, that plays a role as far as being the captain, because he has to he's got to break down so much information to each and every play on defense.
About Kevin Bayard, he's the uncle of the team. He's the OG of the team. He's a leader in the secondary. I knew he was going to get picked, man. He seems like he's a cool guy to be around. He seems like he won't yell at you, but he seems like he'll tell you what to do. So I didn't really have a problem with Bayard being named the captain. He was my original pick. I think he's going to be very vocal on as far as that secondary goes even more, and I really don't have an issue with it. But I want to talk about this one right here, Alan. Your boy, Cairo Santos, Captain Cairo. Special teams, like this was a head scratcher, bro. Like, do they normally name a kicker a captain? I mean, I get it because he's tough. He's been kicking in his win. He was the last, he helped us pretty much beat the Green Bay Packers in Lambeau. So that special teams captain, I really can't really speak on it. So I'm leaning on you to tell me why, if you know anything. Like, why do you think Cairo is being named the captain on special teams?
Well, it's got to be his personality. Cairo's one of those guys who probably get everybody free in the club. Who knows what Cairo good at? I mean, he's just one of those guys that everybody on the team loves. Robbie Gould, they said he was probably the most famous dude in Chicago when he was here. So, everybody loved Robbie. So everybody likes Cairo. I mean, he's a quality guy. And when he hit that field goal against Green Bay, you could just see the love he got from his teammates. So I think that's kind of like he's just a lovable guy. And Coach Hightower loves him. And Coach Hightower's got a little cachet on the team. So I think special teams, that's their captain, is Cairo. I think that's kind of how it worked out.
I mean, and I like him being a captain too, man, just because it's a confidence builder. Like, if you ever need your kicker to have any type of confidence, this is a situation where his confidence will be through the roof heading to the season as far as kicking field goals. Like, I'm a captain. I'm a kicker, but they named me a captain. Like, that'll boost my confidence so high. And I think he deserved it. I think it's strategic. Yeah. And I think that's going to be so important heading into this season that could catapult us to probably getting us over the top. Cairo being named as a captain because he can kick field goals. Now, we all want to get a new kicker, which is fine. But at the same time, you can't underestimate but Cairo's strength and his foot kicking in the wind. He's been doing it for years. So it's good for him to have this captain. I think this can boost his confidence, and I think he'll be better as the season goes along. But, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to probably get to the most fun part of the show right now. And
you went out, G.
I don't know why it keeps buffering like this, man. Alan, I don't understand what's going on. But anyway, these are the notable non-captains right here. Montez Sweat, DJ Moore, Cole Kmet, Tremaine Edmonds, TJ Edwards, and Jaylon Johnson. Now, Alan, you can have your pick on who you want to trash first. Who's the most trash leader in this group right now? So I'm going to give you the floor, man, and you can just pick one and we'll just go through them, bro.
Yeah, the one I wanted was Edwards. Edwards, to me, is somebody that I would love to play football with. Like I can go in the foxhole with Evans. But the rest of those guys, all of them they just teetering on. They just talkers. You know, and I would say two of them may be overpaid for what they actually do, like Sweat and Johnson. But DJ Moore, I think, is worth his money. DJ Moore is going to be a pivotal role player on our team. I think Ben's got an influence on DJ this year, because I had seen something where DJ say he wanted to work on his body language. I bet you do. I bet you do want to work on your body language. I'm pretty sure a guy came in and called y'all ass out about it. So, you know, so if they can see it and we can see it, you gonna have to see it, or you're gonna be on another team. So, but Tremaine Edmonds, he's got to pick up his play, and I knew he wasn't gonna be a captain.
Right.
Guys in that locker room they ain't gonna respect the talker, and he's good at that. But Jaylon Johnson and Sweat, you know, they gotta bring it, man. They gotta bring it, man. But I'm not surprised none of them guys, except one, Edwards is the captain. I'm not surprised.
Yeah, this whole list is not people that I would prefer to be my captains on any level, man. I mean, you got DJ Moore, who I remember specifically saying, I don't know why they made me a captain. Maybe people just like me. That is something that you never say. You never say nothing like that. I mean, it's honest, it's transparent, it's real. But if you go based off how DJ Moore has basically been here, yes, he's been somewhat productive. Yes, he's been somewhat of a number one wide receiver, because that's who we have as a number one wide receiver. But DJ Moore, his attitude since he's been here, especially on and off the field, walking off the field, moaning, groaning, complaining, saying things in the media that's not necessarily good coming from your number one wide receiver. You don't expect that. You don't accept that. And I think that Ben Johnson knew that. You know, he watched DJ Moore. You know what I mean? Like, he's in your division. So he's watching DJ Moore like we're watching DJ Moore as far as his attitude and his behavior and his body language. Like, anytime somebody got to tell you as a grown-ass man to clean up your body language, it's never good. It's never good.
Yeah.
That's never a good thing. You got to tell a guy that's been in the NFL 8 years, been pretty much a number one wide receiver since he got into the NFL, you know what I mean, to tell him to clean up his body language. That's a loser's mentality. And I always tell people, man, DJ Moore, as good as he is, he's coming from a loser culture in Carolina. When you've been playing football as long as he has and you did nothing but lose, you don't do nothing but pick up bad habits. You get away with murder. You know what I mean, Alan? As a top talent on a bad team, you get away with murder. And that's something that DJ Moore has been doing since he's been here. Then he comes to the Chicago Bears, and it's kind of like the same situation as far as his attitude. So, like I said, when I saw him he said that, I don't know why they made me a captain. I guess people like me. I was out on him as far as him being a captain. Like, it's over. So, but you said something I want to get into, Alan. You talk about Cole Kmet too. You said we was in our personal group chat, man. You kind of laid into Cole Kmet as far as him not being a captain, man. Can you get an audience what you said, what you told me?
Well, Cole Kmet was asked about mentoring, and I might be paraphrasing, but it was basically he was saying, well, I wasn't asked to mentor; they were asking for coaching. And he was like, I'm just here, you know, competing for the job. You know, not for the job more so, but I'm here to, you know, make plays, you know, do my job and stuff like that. So nobody's approached me about being a mentor. So, you know, Jimmy Graham. When Jimmy Graham was here, everybody knew he came in and mentor Cole. Like, you know, Jimmy Graham was probably gonna be a Hall of Fame for all we know. Great tight end for years, and he never got up there and said no shit like that, you know. So Cole just let me know. I said he understands that his job is on the line, and that was more of a competitive but he didn't hit his target on that conversation. He really left me out to dry. And if I was coasting, I'd be like, whether you mentor me or not, if I run the wrong route, you probably like, young buck, you know you got to do this, that. Like you that much in your feelings that you couldn't tell, you can't talk to your young guy and be like, look, man, I want to win the game. Fuck all that above anything. If you out here messing up, hey, that's a reflection on all of us. You know, so stop gatekeeping, bro. You sound like a gatekeeper. Like, and I've never been through that in football. Even when I played in high school or college, I was an older guy that tapped me on the shoulder like, man, make sure you get here. Make sure, be here on time, do this, that. And I understand Cole might have his reasons, and I might be going off on a tangent. But to me, he just left something out there, and it made me feel like you gatekeeping on that young man. And coasting will need you, but if you show leadership, the Bears will be like, how can we make them inseparable? Let's keep both of them. But you just making the job easier for management to get your ass up out of here. So, coasting is the future, and we all know that. But at the same time, Cole, you got a role in the team to be a leader and a mentor for your young guys. Your exemplary acts will go further with them to talk to them, and then you will be allowed to further your career somewhere else because they know you're a good guy in the locker room. To me right now, it seems like you're giving me standoffish vibes. So
Yeah, Cole Kmet, man, like, for him to come out there and pretty much say, I'm trying to compete, I'm here to make plays, nobody asked me to be a mentor, and all these other things. I mean, it just lets you know if I'm the next coaching staff and I'm bringing in my own people, I get to just make the decision on my own, you're not going to be a captain. Like, it's really like night and day. If you don't want to be a captain, bro, if you don't want to mentor people, if you don't want to show a young guy the ropes from a guy that hasn't won anything, you haven't done anything, you know what I mean? You're not always the best blocker out there. You're not always the best route runner out there. You know what I mean? So it's just coming down to the fact that you're not the guy that we need to be a captain for the young guys in that tight end room. That is something that you don't want to hear your number one tight end say. That's what I'm saying. When you come from a losing culture, you say and do losing shit. That was a very loser comment. That was a very selfish comment.
Yeah, very loser.
Very loser, man. So it's like winners talk differently from losers. Winners don't sit at the table with losers. You know what I mean? And I think the locker room felt that way about Cole Kmet. Like, he comes off, he could be a little bit arrogant. He can be cocky sometimes, it seems. But when it comes down to you being a leader on this team as the number one tight end, the guy that got paid, you expect him to be a little bit more open-minded to helping a young guy out. Like, you can't show the world that you are in your feelings about a guy that might overall just be a better tight end than you. Because at the same time, Ben Johnson likes to play a 12-man personnel scheme, a 2 tight end set. You're going to get catches. You're going to get options to catch the ball. So the fact that Cole Kmet, as good as he is on that podium, man, he said some things that I always like. I didn't like that when he said that. I don't think the team liked it when he said that. Personality in sports, Alan, as you know, means a lot. It could help you win a team, or it can destroy a team. So the fact that he doesn't have a C on his chest this year was great to see that, because they need everybody to buy in that can talk that talk and walk that walk and mentor young guys. So, yeah, I'm out on Cole Kmet. I'm out on DJ Moore. I'm out on Montez Sweat. And all these guys are paid, man. These are your top 3, top 4 guys that got paid. And that just goes to show you, to the 93 people in here, that money doesn't solve everything. Money doesn't make everything better at all. You can be the lowest person on the total and can be a better leader than somebody that's probably getting $20 to $30 million a year getting paid. You know what I mean? Money doesn't always equate to great leadership. We've seen that throughout sports history for years. Like, everybody that gets paid is not a good leader. So the only person I think that I thought would probably might make it is TJ Edwards, man. He's always been pretty much a good guy to be on this team. But somebody and look, neither linebacker, bro. Neither linebacker.
That's surprising. backers usually get the C on their chest. But
yeah, and the last person we're gonna talk about is Jaylon Johnson. I think overall he didn't get the C on his chest because he hasn't been here. You know, your best ability is availability, and Jaylon Johnson missed the whole preseason and he missed the whole camp. So I knew that he was not going to be named the captain with a new defensive coordinator and a new head coach, man. So, what's your thoughts on Jaylon Johnson? You know, him not being named the captain outside of his ability to be here during the offseason, the preseason, the camp. What's your thoughts?
Yeah. One thing about Jaylon Johnson I love is his honesty. But as far as like how he carries himself as a leader, he's a leader of himself. Like, he's going to take care of himself. He's very good at leading himself, talking to himself. But when you blast a coach, and that's probably going to be a lasting impression with Eberflus, and I know nobody gives a fuck about Eberflus, but just somebody been in the locker room and, you know, whether it's high school or college, I've never seen a player in my lifetime blast off on a coach. They were saying, like media was saying, that it got to a point that Eberflus had to be removed. That it got so bad, the things that Jaylon Johnson was saying, and it might have been some other players, but his name was definitely indicated.
Right.
And I was like, I have never seen that shit. And I've been on a 1-9 team.
Right.
I've been on a 5-5 team. I've been in college. We lost 2 games in freshman year.
Right.
So I've been up, down, and in the middle.
Right.
And I have never seen somebody allow. It is no way a team allows a player to blast off on the head coach. Like that is a clear display of a lack of leadership in that locker room, that they allowed this dude to blast off on the head coach like that. And it is no way in hell he should ever have a C on his chest for the Bears after that. Now, he's gone, the coach is gone, but that lasting impression is still here. He's been with 3 coaching staffs.
Yeah, 3.
He's 3. And I think 3 is too many for my liking. Right. But I'm not gonna pounce on him because he's a great player and he's a great communicator within himself. But when you're talking about being a leader of men, he doesn't have the temperament for that. He doesn't. You gotta be able to say, you know what, dog? The next day, G, that Friday, I would have had the boys in the locker room. I've been like, look, we're gonna have a leadership group. We're gonna go talk to coach. About 3 or 4 of us. We're gonna or the captain. We're gonna go sit down with coach, man, and talk to him and tell him how we feel about that game. You know what I'm saying? But to do it, that Detroit game, and do that in front of everybody, like you didn't have no care in the world, like that, you didn't, like you say, read the room. He doesn't do a good job of it.
Yeah, and I think that's the main thing that I can see going further why he probably wouldn't be named. It's like, you want players that can read the room, understand what the situation is, understand what the vibe is after a loss, understand the vibe is after I missed the assignment or my teammate missed the assignment. You want guys to protect your locker room as much as possible, man. And Jaylon Johnson, as much as I like,
sacred.
It's sacred, right? You know, I've never been in a football locker room, but I can understand, coming from a military background that I come from, that your squad and your group, you damn near like brothers, man. You know what I mean? You basically are lining up, going to war, or however you want to metaphorically say it. Like everything, those guys that you're going to work with or going to war with or getting between those lines with are everything. So the fact that you're saying Jaylon Johnson is more of a self person than a we person, you can kind of see that, because as much as people want to talk about podcasts, and I always be saying this since Ben Johnson's been here, and I was wondering, you know, Cole Kmet had a habit of going on podcasts. Jaylon Johnson had a habit of going on podcasts. But you see a person on a podcast as much as them. Caleb Williams, we said that last season. We didn't see.
He wasn't on none of them.
He wasn't on none of them like that consecutively, or however you want to put it. But that's a distraction. You know what I mean? Like if you run into a podcast more than running into your film room and your teammates and their playbook, that's a problem, bro. You're a part of a 5-win team. So how much are you really moving the needle as far as helping winning? You know what I mean? So Jaylon Johnson, I like Jaylon Johnson a lot, man. I really do.
I do too.
I think he's a good player, but I don't think he's a great player. When you say great players, great players don't do things the way that Jaylon Johnson has somewhat done them since he's been here. To me, I wouldn't name Jaylon Johnson a captain, even if he was here. Like I just don't need you to be a captain. Like you got to realize too, maybe you can speak on this. Like the whole NFL saw and knew what happened in that locker room with Eberflus. Now you a coach.
That was
you
bad.
A coach, Allen. You a coach. You Ben Johnson. You Al Harris. You Dennis Allen. How does that resonate in that with the new staff? Like, is that a guy? Do you consider that guy like a problem child that's got into it with coaches like that in front of his face? Like, how do you think?
No, you know what? I don't think they would look at him as a problem child because it just blew over. G, like it becomes frustrating that you constantly losing, and then you get to a moment with a coach, and the coach get up there and talk. He's talking the same language,
right?
And it's like, when are you gonna hold people accountable? I think that Tyreek Stevenson moment gave the team to say, you know what, man, I could say or do anything on this motherfucker. Like, you know, so it was like little steps that was getting to this big argument. And they was like, okay, who's gonna be the guy to say, I'm gonna leap out there and say, I'm gonna be that guy and say what I gotta say because I'm tired of it. I just think Jaylon just reached his wits end, and he had to have that outburst. Now, the new coaching staff, they got the luxury to say, we don't want him here.
Right. That's what I was getting.
So it won't be an argument. Gee, it will be 911 to Ryan Poles. It'll be 3 pushes and his ass up out of there. It ain't gonna be no argument with Jaylon Johnson. Them days over with where he gets to be the Ayatollah. Like I could say or do without them days over with. This coaching staff has no leash with you. Like you have the shortest leash on the team, probably one of them. Yeah. Like, you know, DJ Moore has a short leash. Everybody in this picture except TJ has a short leash this year. And it's easily that 4 of these dudes will be gone next year. Easily.
Yeah. I agree, man, because, you know, once y'all getting expensive, like you said, they've been a part of this organization where they all got 3 teams. Not all of them, but JJ's gotten 3 coaches. Cole Kmet's got 3 coaches. You know, you guys are getting more expensive. JJ already pretty much said that he wants more money. You know what I'm saying? Soon, but you're gonna have to pretty much be an all-pro to me to get this new contract extension done after this season or whatever the next one. Like, bro, you're gonna have to pretty much be damn near Deion Sanders or Patrick Surtain or Reeves or somebody. Like, bro, you're gonna have to do absolutely insane work under Dennis Allen, who's gonna play more press man. And it's a few people, including myself, that thinks Tyreek Stevenson is going to be a better press man corner than Jaylon Johnson because that fits his scheme a little bit more. That fits Tyreek Stevenson a little bit more. You know, everybody knows that Flus pretty much ran a zone defense, and you kind of had Jaylon just in the zone floating around where he wasn't really pressing. So we're going to see, like you said, Allen, early in the offseason, that he's going to have to chase wide receivers all game long, right?
Yeah, but I think this first game, we ain't going to see him chase as much. Because I don't know if the condition is going to be there. You might see a lot of zone, I think it's going to be a little bit of some misdirection, a little bit of cloud coverage, or some little things that kind of save his endurance during the game. You might not see a lot of blitzes. You might see him in a cover 2 a lot. But I doubt he's gonna chase the formation. I think that'll be later in the year, but right now it's gonna be kind of simplified on Monday night.
Yeah, and this will conclude our notable non-captain segment. Montez, DJ, Cole Kmet, Tremaine Edmonds, TJ Edwards, JJ. The only person I feel probably a little bit slighted about is TJ Edwards, man. Like, the dude don't do nothing wrong. He do more right things than he do wrong things. So for everybody on this list, it's 5 out of 6 on this list that could potentially be traded, that could potentially be going off his team in the next year or two, depending on the cap money and the dead money and what we can trade. It's just going on too long. But we got a couple more parts right here. I know you want to talk about this, Alan, that Jaylon Johnson got his deal restructured, man. I think that came after like $6 or $8 million from his deal. Just what do you think that is? Because me personally, I think it's a little bit too late in the season to be going after certain people. You know, Monday is going to be here before you know it. Monday night's going to be here. So who are we going to get with this money, and what does this restructuring, taking some of his money, really mean?
Well, I think they wouldn't be ready for the young man Foskey that came in. He was let go by New Orleans. He's supposed to work out either today or tomorrow, or if he worked out Tuesday. I know he's supposed to work out this week. He was a rush in for Notre Dame. I forgot his first name, but
Isaiah, I think it's
Dennis Isaiah Foskey, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, the coach, Dennis Allen was the head coach and brought him in. So I think that they already kind of know they need a little bit more extra room because they have to address a couple of positions next week.
Right.
Then they can go forward. Because see, next week, none of the guaranteed contracts will be valid. So if they on your roster for week 1, they've guaranteed for the year. So if next week, we can sign anybody that's on the waiver wire or anything, and we can keep them for the year, and their contracts are not guaranteed.
Yeah. We're going to see what this really means. Shout out to Crooked Commish. What's up, bro, man? You came in towards the end of the show, man, but what we pretty much talked about was, we got new captains, as you know, man. We got Caleb Williams, captain, of course, the quarterback. We got Joe Tooney. You know, you saw that. He's a captain. Brady Jarrett, captain. Wyatt is a captain. And we pretty much went over all these guys. Cairo Santos, man. Before we get out of here, then we talked about the notable non-captains. Rookie commish, Montez Sweat. He's not a captain. DJ Moore, Cole Kmet, Tremaine Edmonds, TJ Edwards, Jaylon Johnson. I knew they were going to shrink down the guys that was going to be captain, but this is the 6 that fought. A couple of these guys were captains last year. So this is what we're going over, man. Then the part you came in on is the Jaylon Johnson deal that got restructured. So that's it, Crooked Commission. If you got any comments, man, just drop them. And we'll try to catch them, but we're running out of time right now. So the last thing we were going to talk about is this week 1 of the NFL. Thursday night football kicks off with the Cowboys and the Eagles, man. And Alan and I, we were going over our picks. And these are the picks, my picks from week 1. I got the Eagles, I got the Chiefs, I got the Falcons over the Buccaneers, I got the Bengals over the Browns, Dolphins over the Colts, Carolina over the Jaguars. I think the Jaguars are going to start on 1. The Raiders over the Patriots, Cardinals over the Saints, Steelers over the Jets, Washington over the Giants, Broncos over Tennessee. Tennessee has a rookie quarterback. Seattle over San Fran. I think San Fran is falling apart. Detroit over Green Bay. Everybody knows it's FGB. Fuck Green Bay. Let's go Detroit. Week 1 already division game. So the whole NFC North is playing division games first week. Then we got the Houston Texans with the Rams. I'm gonna take the Texans, Allen, just because their quarterback situation over there with Matthew Stafford is up in the air as far as his health with his back. But I'm gonna take the Texans. Then I'm gonna go with Buffalo over the Ravens, man. I don't know. It's a flip. It was a toss, but I just went with the Buffalo Bills. And of course, I got the Bears over the Vikings easily. Monday Night Football. So, Alan, you can see this right here, man. Just get the people your picks off my sheet and let the people know, man. What you got?
Yeah, I I got the Cowboys winning tonight. I would say I like Kansas City. I like the Atlanta Falcons. Pretty much everything I like that you got all the way up until the New York Giants and Washington. I think New York gonna steal that game.
Okay.
Yeah, I think New York. I think Washington is gonna have a sophomore slump, man. I think the Giants defense, man, them boys game records, man.
Right.
So I'm gonna go with the Giants in a surprising win, and of course the Bears Monday night. But those are the only differences I have.
Okay. And this is the spread. Alec gave me the spread earlier. Said the Eagles are 6-1 against the spread. Eagles are 0-2 with the 8.5. Cowboys are 1-5 in Philly. So, Alec, can you explain the spread to the people real quick who don't really know?
Yeah, the spread is like what they anticipate the winner or the favorite to win by X amount of points. So the 8.5, if they score 24-16, then the Cowboys will cover.
Right.
The Eagles have to score 25-14, so to cover. So I'm going with the Cowboys because the Cowboys are a team that needs to win, and I believe both teams are going to go over 47 points. So if they got to score 48 points as a combination score, so I'm going to take the over on this game.
Yep. We got Crooked Commission. What's the best way to contact y'all for a collaboration? I'm with Chicago Clubhouse. I do a fantasy show on Wednesdays. I'll have to rewind the show. Just hit me up in my messenger on Twitter, bro. You know, G Walker. You can just hit me up, man, and we can just start from there, pretty much. That's it, man. But that's gonna be the end of our show. In case anybody missed it, there's 104 people in here right now. We talked about the captains that got named. It was Caleb, Joe Tooney, Brady Jarrett, Kevin Bayard, Captain Cairo, main one, and then we got our notable non-captains: DJ Moore, Montez Sweat, Cole Kmet, Maine Evans, TJ Edwards, and JJ. Then we talked about DJ's deal that got restructured and what's why. I kind of feel like it's almost too late to bring him in, but it's a couple of players that the Bears might be looking at. Darius Smith is out there, Isaiah Foskey's out there, so we'll see what's going on. But Monday night is creeping fast upon us, man. Then we talked about the week one picks. Those were my picks. Alan gave his picks, and then Alan ended up giving us the spread. So with that being said, we're going to get up out of here, man. I'm G Walker, the CNG Podcast. And Alan, you can tell them where to find. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, and X, man. Alan, tell them where to find you at, big dog. We gone, bro.
Yep, YouTube, X, CNG Podcast. You know, that's where I'm at.
With that being said, bear down. We'll be on our next show Monday night. We're probably going to go live for our pregame show, and I got a crazy edit. I got crazy stuff for this pregame show, man. So you know how we're going to bring it. We got special guests coming too. It's going to be lit. So pull up the CNG Podcast, Bears versus Vikings pregame show, 6 p.m. Central, 7 Eastern. It's going down. One love. We out.